Hi guys, Mr. Pablo, so back with another video. And this time we're in a place called Campa de Centenales, which belongs to the municipality of Ibias. And we're about to start the route PRAS 07, which is called Ruta a Hucha or Trail a Hucha. And I will tell you everything about it in the way there.
Right, so this is a linear route. It's 7.8 kilometers each way. That's around 9.7 miles total when you go all the way back to where you started. As I was saying before, it's a linear route. You have several very interesting things about this route. By the way, that's a curtain. We talked about that in the last episode when we went to do the Ruta de los Ancares. And as I was saying before, it's just a way to protect the beehives from the attack of the bears. But going back to the route, you can obviously choose to start the route in Campa de Centenales, or you can start the route where I will end it, which is in the village called Pradias. Your choice will determine how much you go uphill in the starting point of the route. In my case, I will do 1.8 kilometers uphill when I start, and then it's all the way downhill to Pradias. If you're starting Pradias, obviously you have like 5.8 kilometers going uphill, and you end up in Campa de Centenales after going downhill for 1.8 kilometers, give or take. The choice is yours. I mean, you are going to see exactly the same views either way. But you would choose if you prefer to start doing the hard part first, or if you prefer doing the hard part when you go all the way back to where you started. That's a personal choice, I guess. But there are like two really nice things about this route. First of all is the views, which are fantastic. You will see all the mountains surrounding the area. That's thanks to the height that you gain when you do this route, and also, and perhaps more important, you will have the chance to see another dolmen. Remember that we had the chance to show a dolmen when we went to see the Dolmen of Pradias a few videos back. Well, this one is called Dolmen of Hucha or Dolmen of Pradias. As I was saying at that time, a dolmen is a monument that is basically formed by two vertical megaliths and supporting a large flat horizontal capstone. In this particular one, in this particular case, it dates back to the Neolithic times, and it will be around 4000 to 3000 BC. The meaning or the purpose of these monuments, these dolmens, is, in my opinion, not clear. But you know, there are different theories about this. Some of them related to funeral applications. Other ones are consider them as markings of some sort, of magical areas or areas of importance to them, to the Neolithic people. But it's not clear to me. Also notice how this particular route is extremely wide and easy to follow. That's a bonus, especially considering what happened in the last video. By the way, I found that particular type of stone, which is like, it looked to me like quartz, white cloudy quartz. I found it pretty much everywhere along the route. It was full of it. I thought that was quite interesting too. But going back to the route, we will continue. And at the point where I think it's close to the dolmen, I will let you know, because if you are not careful enough, you very likely will miss it. So I will let you know more or less at which point you are about to find the dolmen to your left. When I did the route, I just found a sign that talked about the dolmen. If you were not careful, you wouldn't see that sign, and certainly you will miss what I think is one of the highlights of this route, which is the dolmen. So I will let you know well in advance when you have to start paying attention. Notice how at this point we start to see the nice views that you will take some time to see if you start the route from Pradias. Again, it's something to consider if you are doing the route very early in the morning, or you prefer to reach the nice views a little bit later or a little bit earlier. That's your choice, but great views nevertheless. I forgot to say the weather was quite nice, although I have to say that when I started the route it was really cold. So as you can see, I was really fully covered because of the cold. I think there may have been like 3 or 4 degrees only when I started, centigrades by the way. This is a forest area that indicates that we have to start to be a little bit careful to find the route, because we have to turn right. There is a sign that tells us that after that forest we have to turn right, but you have to be really mindful to make sure that you see the sign. So what you see at the end there is a mountain that I was told later was Pico Pedroso, or a stony peak. I believe that's the name of that particular peak, but we find it from that point onwards pretty much constantly in front of us. As you can see here, with this panoramic view of the area, the views that you start seeing from this point onwards are unbelievable, including again Pico Pedroso. I believe that's the name of that peak. That you see there is a pool that contains water that will be used in case of a fire in the area. It could be sourced, the water could be sourced from there. Now at this point is when you are reaching the place where the dolmen is. Look at your left and you will see that sign. You will have to follow, as I am doing right now, that particular deviation, and then you will end up having the dolmen in front of you. But you have to be really careful not to miss that sign. So keep looking at your left. And that's the dolmen. As you can see there, is very small. I don't think it was taller than the height of my knees. So it's not huge as one would expect. I had the same experience with the Dolmen of Pradias. There is a separate video about that one, but it's quite small again. I know there are much bigger ones than this particular one, but this one was small. As you can see, there is no difficulty whatsoever in this particular route. The only difficulty is the physical effort that requires to go climbing uphill and downhill too. Downhill has some effect in the knees too. But you know, I think it is possible to do this route, as I was saying before, with a mountain bike. That's pretty much, you could even do the route with a jeep, to be honest. But also you could do this route with children, as long as they are used to walk. I mean, the general rule, I've been told, is that you would do as many kilometers with your child as the age of the child. So 7-8 kilometers for a 7-year-old child is kind of roughly the rule of thumb here. But obviously you use your own judgment to decide that. I wouldn't I wouldn't bring my child to this particular route. He's 8 years old now, because it's a total of 16 kilometers. But what you can do in these cases is two people or two families start the route in opposite directions. Each of those two groups or two families or whatever park their car in the starting point, and in the middle of the route they meet each other and they interchange the car keys, and that way you just do half of the route. That's something you could try.
Well guys, I just arrived to the end of the route, which is Pradias. Now I'm going to have a rest, I'm going to eat some food, and then go all the way back to where I parked the car. So I have to return. For when I came here, it's around 7 to 8 kilometers, I believe. So quick bite, and then I will go all the way back. I will continue shooting video until I arrive to the car, and hopefully I will be able to show you some of that footage. In any case, I'm going to say goodbye now and say that I really hope you enjoyed the journey with me, and if you did, please do not forget to subscribe, and also, as usual, to wish you that life is bringing you plenty of opportunities to smile, and if it doesn't, please keep fighting, as it is a matter of time. So until the next time, have a great day.
Well, I found this cow in the way back, and I didn't want to disturb the cow, so I was waiting patiently for the cow to decide to pass so I could continue my route. But the cow was looking at me very suspiciously, and so I was kind of having this kind of a game where the cow wanted to pass, and I wanted to pass too, but she didn't decide to be brave enough to continue the journey, so I had to be patient with that one. By the way, a gorgeous cow, by the way. Well, finally, it took a little bit of convincing, really. It may be that the way I look is quite suspicious in the eyes of a cow. Other things I wanted to point out is how extremely polite is the people living in the villages that I've been encountering so far. It doesn't matter how remote is the area or how where I end up being, I always have very good experiences with people living in the area. They are extremely polite, they're extremely helpful, and sometimes they are extremely curious to know what is this guy doing in the middle of nowhere with a camera and a tripod. But I don't find that often that level of politeness and manners in the city, quite frankly. And I don't want to say anything bad about the city. Obviously, I'm from a city, but it's praising how polite is people in the villages. Well, this is the point where, in the way back, we turn left. I was saying before that there is a sign. When I was there was a sign that indicated to turn right when we were going downhill. Well, now it's the other way around. We turn left and we keep going. But we are close to the end, actually. And so, as final comments, I will say that this is a really easy route to make. You will not get lost, that's for sure. There will not be trees blocking the path or anything like that. You get fantastic views, by the way, and you have, as a bonus, the possibility of visit a dolmen, a Neolithic monument in this particular case, that is not that common in other areas. And finally, we are heading back to the car. We are very close now. Now, in the next video, we will be visiting another very beautiful area of Ibias, and a route that, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful ones I've been doing so far, together with Cabo Busto.